Beyond legal obligations, making digital course materials accessible is a shared responsibility that fosters an inclusive education experience for all students at Stanford and supports the university's online accessibility policy. The following resources are available to any instructor or staff member responsible for adding content to their Canvas courses. While Canvas has a built-in accessibility checker that detects common accessibility errors within the rich text editor, some instructors have commented that this tool does not always provide clear guidance on how to fix the identified issues. Stanford's Office of Digital Accessibility, SOTA, recommends using the Instructor Accessibility Guide instead. Let's navigate to an assignment within the Canvas course, clicking on the Assignments tool, and now opening a previously created assignment, and clicking Edit, the pencil icon at the top for this particular assignment. The IAG tool is automatically installed in all Canvas courses and is identified by a blue button with a white P icon against a circular dark blue background. The IAG button is located to the left of the Cancel button. Once activated, the IAG appears as a panel on the right side of the screen and displays a list of elements that are checked on the page, as well as the numbers of identified errors and alerts. Alerts are what the IAG guide thinks may be an issue. An error is a definite accessibility error that requires remediation. So for instance, once I click on images and links, I have an alert present here for suspicious alternative text. I'm going to further click on it. Once I clicked on suspicious alternative text, you may have noticed that the RCE panel on the screen scrolled all the way up. This ensures that while I'm making changes in the IAG tool, I'm also able to see them reflected immediately within the RCE tool. In addition to the IAG panel functionality, under all alerts or errors, there will be question marks present with additional information. So for instance, this one, ensure alternative text accurately and succinctly presents the content of the image. So I'm being prompted to label this image with alternative text. I'm going to do so now. I also know from experience, I'm going to label this picture example 1, for I utilize this naming convention often in the RCE, and it could raise false alert flags or alternative text redundancies. Once making a correction in the IAG panel, do not forget to select Apply. And now next to alternative text, the icon appears as green. Moving on to text and contrast. I have two very low contrast items. I'm selecting very low contrast. Now again, here is the question mark. If you click on the question mark, another panel will appear with additional information that pertains directly to this accessibility issue. Clicking back. Now let's make these very low contrast corrections. Again, within the RCE, those corrections that must be made are highlighted. However, I'm going to make the changes within the IAG panel. I'm going to utilize these toolbars to do so. Until pass appears next to normal text and large text in green, and then do not forget to click Apply. Next, I'm prompted to correct the second issue. Click Apply. Moving on now to headings. There are two alerts within headings. It's important to note here that headings and lists can help organize content and should be used in a logical, structured order. Try not to skip levels of headings. Selecting heading outline first. This is not the initial heading outline in the page. I'm scrolling back in the RCE before making the heading changes. So Botany 101 is the initial heading, so I'm going to select heading 2 and then make sure the others are in a chronological, succinct order, and then select Apply. and the alerts have disappeared. Moving on to tables and lists. Regarding tables, we highly recommend utilizing Microsoft Word over Google Docs to create accessible tables if not creating within the RCE tool. Tables should be simple, have a defined header row, and avoid utilizing merged cells. At the end of this tutorial, I will share the link to the Instructional Accessibility Modules Canvas course. There is an entire module video tutorial on how to create accessible tables. Clicking on Layout Table here, I'm going to read the question mark, but it's prompting me to add a header row to this particular table. So under Set Header, I'm going to select Set First Row as Header, and I'm going to add a caption to the table. And then select Apply. And the alert has disappeared. Moving on to Ordered List. Verify that there aren't any numbered lists that don't appear here. For example, places that 1, 2, 3 have been added manually. If so, convert these to be an actual list. So this I can only do within the RCE box. Utilizing the list functionality within the RCE tool, there's 1, 2, 3 with lines and a caret. This allows me to create the ordered list directly within the RCE box. There we go. Moving on to documents and videos. One thing to note with documents and a common SOTA inquiry is the accessibility of documents. For example, many utilize Google Docs, but Google Docs lacks an accessibility checker and the ability to create accessible tables. So the SOTA recommended workflow is to finalize the doc, download it, save it as a Word document, and remedy the accessibility issues within Microsoft Word. Then upload the Word document back into Google Drive. Please keep this barrier in mind regarding Google Drive when creating accessibility documents. So for instance, here within the RCE box, I have a Google Doc right here. Perhaps I'm utilizing this Google Doc for a collaborative project. However, it's not accessible. So I downloaded it as an Excel Word document and then was able to make the accessibility revisions based on the accessibility assistant within this Excel document. I then saved it, downloaded it, and then re-uploaded it within the RCE box. So I know it's accessible to all students. Moving on now to address the 3 alerts within documents and videos. Link to Excel spreadsheet. I must specify that this is an Excel sheet opposed to just using the XLS extension. So I'm going to correct that text within link text. And then select Apply, and then move on to the PDF and do the same here. And select Apply. Then link to Canvas asset. This is a reminder here that I may also want to specify within the RCE box that it will open a non-HTML document. So I can add that within the link text. Click Apply, and then move on to the next alert and apply the same link text. And select Apply. Those alerts do remain visible. However, I know for a fact, based on the prompts, those changes are reflected within the RCE tool. Moving on next to the YouTube video link. Ensure that the YouTube videos present equivalent synchronized captions. This is something incredibly important to keep in mind when watching or reviewing your YouTube videos with the captions turned on to ensure that they are correct. Now, feel free to click Rescan after correcting the accessibility errors. Again, these alert flags are false flags. They remain present. However, I know I remedied those issues within the RCE box. Clicking out of the IAG tool, do not forget to click Save at the bottom of the screen or your changes will not be saved. At any point for additional accessibility Canvas help, please submit a ticket to canvashelp@stanford.edu. There are 2 additional things to be aware of with the IAG tool. First, an inaccessible table can confuse the checker, and as a result, IAG may generate false or phantom errors. By fixing an inaccessible table, this will resolve the phantom errors. Second, IAG tool may raise red flags for redundant links within content. Redundant links may be inaccessible when the same link is presented in multiple forms alongside one another. For instance, a link attached to an image and the same link appearing alongside the image. This is confusing for screen reader users. Here are some additional links and resources mentioned during this tutorial that will help in creating an accessible Canvas course. Have a lovely quarter.